Welcome back to Diamond Niners Weekly. We are live at the Hayes on a Thursday night, talking Charlotte 49ers baseball. This is Nick. I'm joined by Coach Woody.
Hey, everybody.
Producer Brad.
Hey.
And Kevin is out on assignment. Okay, that's not true. He's coaching 6-year-old baseball, but I just always kind of wanted to say he's out on assignment. Remember, like, when you were watching the 6 o'clock news, and Dan Rather would be out doing something, and they'd be like, Dan Rather is out on assignment.
Yep.
That's Kevin. He's out on assignment. So he's actually out on a field right this very minute, coaching his 6-year-old son and an entire group of 6-year-olds playing baseball.
Good weather for it.
Yeah, it was a little iffy today with the weather, but they said the field was in good shape. So I don't know. He's out running drills with them or something like that. So anyway, in his absence, we'll carry on here, and we got Coach Woody queued up and ready to go. Couple things we want to point out. As always, feel free to chime in on the chat. Producer Brad is monitoring that. Got my eye on Twitter as well, so if you guys want to chime in, we love hearing from you. Big homestand coming up this weekend. We'll obviously talk more about that in a few minutes, but do want to remind everybody right up front, we're tailgating on Saturday. So get out here. Saturdays at the Hayes will be right out front all morning/afternoon long, getting ready for a 3 o'clock pitch against Southern Miss. More about that series in a moment. Also, we have to point out, we always keep track of our pro Niners, and right now we've got 4 guys with minor league assignments. Josh Maciejewski is going to be playing for the Yankees AA Somerset Patriots.
Nice.
So that's cool. Aaron McKeithen, the newly drafted Aaron McKeithen, will be playing AA ball in his first full year for the Springfield Cardinals. So
That's awesome.
That's a pretty cool jump. Jump up there to AA right off the bat. Bryce McGowan will be pitching for the Rockies A franchise, the Fresno Grizzlies. So you probably pitched at Fresno, didn't you?
I didn't actually get to pitch against Fresno for whatever reason. When I got called up to the Cal League, I think I played for Lake Elsinore Storm. That we had already played Fresno before I got called up there, so I missed them. But I've played in that league, and it's a historic league with a lot of tradition, and ball really flies. So Bryce's changeup's gonna play well there.
And we got Colton Laws at the Single-A Vancouver Grizzlies. That's basketball. The Vancouver Canadians for the Toronto Blue Jays. Yep. Colton's making his way back from some injury, so we wish him the best of luck. Yep. Hopefully Colton can get back on track.
I've pitched in that stadium in against that team, and that league, the Northwest League, is a really cool league, but those are some long bus rides. I played for the Eugene Emeralds in 2007, and from Eugene to Vancouver, I remember we left our bus left at, we played a 7 o'clock game. Our bus left at either midnight or 1 a.m., and then we got in we had to cross the border at like 10 or 11 a.m., and then we got in around 1 p.m. or so, and everybody took about a 3-hour nap at the hotel, and we showed and go that night and played in Vancouver. Yeah.
It's been a few years since Colton pitched there, working his way back from injury, but it always gave us the Colton Law starts always gave us a reason to stay up because during the middle of the summer, Colton Laws will be starting at 10 p.m. on the East Coast.
Yep.
And turn on MILB TV and catch Colton Laws pitching in the late night. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. The one you might be thinking, folks that follow the program are thinking, well, we didn't say anything about Zach Jarrett. Zach has been in the Orioles organization, and he is currently pursuing other opportunities. Sounds like he got out of his assignment with the Orioles, and I know he's talking to a couple different other teams right now. So we wish the best of luck to Zach. Feel like he's going to catch on somewhere. Catch on somewhere soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're all pulling really hard for him, and whichever team picks him up, they're going to get a really good player and person.
Sometimes it's just about organizational fit, I think,
Yep.
and he was in a very crowded. They've got just they're in the rebuild mode, and they've got a ton of prospects in the outfield, and just.
Well, prime example just made me think of it was, Colin Moran's been training here the whole offseason. Colin Moran got, designated for assignment, essentially released by the Pittsburgh Pirates, and before the lockout, then the lockout happened, and so he didn't know where he was going to be, and signed with the Cincinnati Reds. 6 to 8 weeks ago, and he just made their 25-man roster for opening day. So,
awesome.
Yeah, one door can close. Certainly, one door can open.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys updated. You guys know the drill. We keep track of our Pro Niners all throughout the summer, all the way into September, and one day beyond. And I have a feeling probably here in a few months we'll be adding some new Pro Niners to the list to follow too. So,
yep.
Fun times. All right, so we're doing things a little bit different tonight. We know you guys have enjoyed having the players on, and so have we. Just didn't work out. Wasn't in the cards this week to have one of the guys on. That will be back. So we're down a player and we're down Kevin, right? But that's
short-staffed.
Next man up, though,
right.
right? So we're doing it. That's
right.
not a big deal. We're going to make it happen here. Let's we're just going to kind of talk a little baseball philosophy tonight. This is a very philosophical kind of night, I think, on
Perfect.
the show.
Yeah, I love it. It's been a minute since I've been on with you guys too, so it's going to be great to just kind of shoot the bull a little bit.
Oh, you haven't been here?
Well, Coach Bick, and we've had other coaches jumping on. So
Brad, did you notice Woody hadn't been here?
Yeah.
What? What? Woody not here?
It felt like you'd been here the whole time. I don't know, but no,
Yes.
It's good. We've been rotating folks in here, and the coaches have done a great job. But you're always welcome back.
Thanks,
Coach. You're always welcome back. All right, so let's just we talk on this show. We just talk. One of the things that people say is you guys just get on there and y'all just talk like you're just fans. And all right, fine. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to kind of go at it and deal with it sort of from the fan perspective tonight, I guess. We always start off with a week recap, so let's just recap the week. All right. Last weekend, I just checked my notes. I have nothing. Nothing happened last weekend. I have no memory of any baseball being played last weekend, and the Niners were just off. Okay, I tried. Right, we weren't off. Played a series in San Antonio last weekend. One thing, things happen. Right? There's an expression, which I'm not going to use on the air, but things happen. Yeah. Stuff happens. Not a great weekend in San Antonio. Guys were rolling coming into that, winning a road series at Old Dominion, coming back home, College of Charleston, which is a tough opponent, and just really rolled over them.
Yep.
And then you go on the road, which going on the road is always tough. You're going out there to Texas, and I mean, Coach, just take it away, man. Just you issued a statement, and I'll get that up so we can look. It was a great statement, but what are your reflections on the weekend as far as that goes?
Well, I mean, I kind of said it in that statement you referenced, really, where it's just, 16 years coaching college baseball, or 12 years coaching, 4 years playing, 16 affiliated, and 4 of those teams been really fortunate to have gone to the College World Series. Every one of those teams had a weekend like last weekend. And, I think as a coach, you're always looking for references and you're always looking for teachable points, right? And you start looking at just not even teams that have you start looking at other teams that have, achieved the goals that we have for ourselves as a program. Mm-hmm. And you start to say, okay, like, well, did those teams have weekends like that too, or even stretches? And you really got to look there. Every team that gets there where we want to go, there's always a stretch. There's always a stretch, and the key is how much. There are a lot of keys, really, but some of which are, how much can you really learn about yourself? How quickly can you improve yourself? And this is just collectively as a program. How tight can you stay together, and how resilient can you be, and continue to press on, because it's the unfortunate nature of it. Like if I wouldn't have gotten into coaching if I couldn't handle or couldn't tolerate It's certainly not enjoyable, but like at the same time, like you don't get into coaching, and I don't think you should get into playing either. Quite frankly, either one. If you're not fully, committed to enduring a lot of different things, certainly we want every game to have the outcome that we want. However, it's just not going to be the case. But what I'm really proud of is, as I said in the statement, we have 37 players that have laid it on the line. We have 37 players that have showed up every single day since our opening team meeting on Sunday, August 22nd. Don't hold me to that date. I'm pretty sure that was the date before classes started in August. And these guys have laid it on the line. They've done everything we could have possibly asked, and more, of them to prepare and to train and to compete and all that stuff. So, when at the end of the day, when you have that foundation, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before whatever it is you go through together as a team, you come out of. Because we stay the course. Are there things that, things that we need to improve? Of course. Are there things that, our opponents are better than us right now on? Sure. But, it really wasn't that long ago. In fact, it was, 8 or 9 days ago, where we, like you said, we were coming off of a really tough road win series, almost sweep, against a really, really good Old Dominion team. And then again, the CAA leader, College of Charleston, comes in here and, we show what we can do in that game.
Yeah.
So, that was 9 days ago. And,
Right.
So let's not make things bigger than they are. Let's continue to do the things that I just talked about. And Coach Bick has had a great phrase he shared with me.
Coach Bick always has great phrases.
He does. He's a great coach. All of our coaches are tremendous, and they're built for this. They're built for, they're built for, when we roll, and they're built for when we need to adapt and need to improve. So, and Coach Bick he said, amongst a few things, but he said, we point thumbs. We point thumbs. We don't point fingers. And I thought that was a great phrase to share with the guys at one point. And basically what that means is we hold ourselves accountable.
Yeah.
And it starts with me, and it starts with our coaches, and spreads throughout the program. And so, go find any team that has the goals that we have forth, and go look at those teams' schedules from previous years that achieve those goals, and you'll find a stretch in there somewhere. It's the nature of the beast. So, we adapt, we improve, we stay the course on the things that. There's a lot of things we're doing well. And we stay the course with those things. So, and like I said, when you lean on that foundation that we have with those 37 guys that have given it all they're giving it all they have every single day, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. So you brought up something that was interesting. You talked about, you wouldn't have gotten into coaching, but maybe you wouldn't even get into playing. And being a pitcher and an accomplished starting pitcher like you were, how do you, as you look back through your playing career, was that something that mentality that you had to you mentioned something earlier about the ability to throw a counter punch. This is when we were talking earlier. That's sort of your mentality, and that's kind of your that was kind of your MO on the mound too. Is you're going to give up something every once in a while, but you're going to hit right back. So how did you come by that? Was part of that is that in your personality? Is that a personality thing, or is that something you have to work on over time?
That's a good question. I think it's both. I think it starts with my parents. It starts with my mom and dad, and my mom was a third grade teacher, and so when she's taught all those kids and seen all the, has all that experience, she's going to harp certainly some lessons on to me as a young one. And then, my dad, my dad was, self-made and blue collar and, just overcame all sorts of obstacles to be as, successful and in positions that he was, and never took a day for granted and always looked at opportunity, failure or struggle. We talked. I mean, he would drive me to school in the morning as an elementary school kid, and if there's something I was struggling with, he would always talk to me about how, it's just an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to improve. It's an opportunity to get better, and as at a young age too. I mean, they're both UNC graduates, and so by default, I obviously watched those games when I was little. And Dean Smith was the head basketball coach, and so I just, at a young age, I was watching Dean Smith when I was in kindergarten, first grade, second grade. I was watching Dean Smith as much as I was Pete Chilcutt and King Rice and Hubert Davis, who's now the coach there. I mean, I was watching Coach Smith just as much as I was the players, and so. I think it was a little bit. So I think it's a little bit of both. And I thought it was funny too. My mom reminded me of this not too long ago, but she said that I started playing chess when I was in first grade just because it was really big at my elementary school, and I think I had a crush on a girl that was in chess club, and so it was like two birds with one stone. Try to win a big trophy and go after your first grade crush. So,
Brad, is that you lit up? Is that how you started too, or?
No, I mean, but I thought it was pretty hilarious that you go after a girl for playing chess. I mean, that's it was more of a you got to recognize game, right?
Game recognizes game. There you go.
Yeah, so it was like
How'd that go?
Yeah, it went fine. We turned out to be best friends. But anyways, to get back to what we were talking about.
You've been playing chess since the first grade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I hated piano lessons in kindergarten, and my mom told me that I couldn't just go outside and play every day. I had to do something else. So I was like, well, I'm not going back to piano lessons. I hate them. And she goes, well, you got to pick something else. And so, like I said, there's at Sharon.
You told your mom you wanted to go throw a bullpen.
I was outside doing something all the time. Both my brother and I were. He was ridiculously good at video games, and I didn't have, that kind of passion or focus in that area. So I would just play outside all the time, and when it got dark, I would ask my parents to turn the lights on in the driveway so that I could shoot hoops in the driveway or just do whatever outside. I just always wanted to play. I always wanted to compete at something. And so, yeah, I mean, but to get back to it is eventually, like after about a year of learning how to play chess from first to second grade, I actually competed in, standard tournaments and the national chess championship when I was in second grade for the K3 level, and I had coaches. And so I actually had, so from first grade until, 8th or 9th grade, I had chess coaches, and they're some of the best coaches I ever had. I mean, honestly, the way that they could articulate, strategy and learning from mistakes and competing against an opponent that was smarter than you, better than you, and finding ways to win and looking for the things. I mean, there's just so many things. I mean, I could honestly, I would love to actually take some time and, put together the parallels between, chess and baseball, because there's so many, and you hear it all the time that it, baseball is a game of chess, but it's true. But my main point is that, my chess coach always told my parents, when I was in second grade, they're like, your son has a blessing and a curse. They're like, your son thinks that his position is always the best. However, he puts himself in positions against that are not the best. And eventually, that is, you're going to run into situations where, you're just against a better player. So we had to really hammer the fundamentals. And kind of adjust my style of play so that, when I'm playing these better players, like I can take more risk and I can gamble more, on certain things for an aggressive attack or whatever it is. But, against better players, like, at the end of the day, the fundamentals play and consistency is key. But my parents always joked, they were always like, yeah, like that's kind of me to a T is like, certainly when I'm ahead, I love my position. When I'm behind, I love my position. Like there's no position in which, and as long as the game is still being played, like there is
Got them right where you want them.
There is a way to find a victory in there, some way, somehow. And I don't know exactly where that came from, but I've kind of always been that way.
So did youth Robert Woodard understand those parallels between what you were doing on the chessboard and what you were doing on the diamond?
I felt it more.
Or does adult Robert understand that? But
definitely, at the age of 37, I definitely understand those parallels more, and I've grown to appreciate them over time. But yeah, I really felt pitching. I felt like, for whatever reason, pitching always kind of flexed the same muscle as playing chess. Hitting was like, the harder I worked at hitting, the worse I got. The harder I worked at pitching, the better I got. The harder I worked at chess, the better I got. So I always felt like pitching and chess for me was like flex the same muscle. And I felt like coaching and chess flexes that same muscle as well.
Now I have it on good authority that you were a pretty good defensive shortstop. I mean, I've heard that. Are you
Coach Bick?
You
He keeps
denying
spreading that rumor, but yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. Like I was.
We've heard that somewhere, haven't we, Brad? I mean, that's
I didn't have a single college at bat for a reason. Or pro at bat. Yeah.
we've heard that.
We have heard that.
It's a rumor out there, and I'm not even saying it's Coach Bick, but I mean, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this way: do you know a better evaluator of talent than Toby Bicknell?
That's a good question. Yeah, maybe not.
Well, he says you're a pretty good defensive shortstop.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I guess you're stuck.
He's
with that.
evaluated and coached a lot better players the last 20 years. So he's raised his standards. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Well,
Yeah.
All right. So all right, let's build on this. We're still talking philosophy here, and so you starting really a lot earlier than I anticipated you saying. So we're starting at first grade.
Yeah.
You're starting to
Are
build.
people still listening?
Yes, people are still.
Brad's keeping an eye on it, and hey, they downloaded later too. So
Perfect.
You don't have to listen live. You're kind of building this. I mean, there's another word, attitude. I mean, this attitude for yourself, starting in the first grade that translates eventually onto the mound. And we've talked about your pitching career before. I mean, and it's you can try to wiggle out of shortstop accolades, but pitching accolades you're just going to have to wear them because you've earned them and you get them. So how do you now? But you decided you wanted to go into coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So here's how we start to translate it to where we're at in the season right now.
Yeah.
I think it's, when these are young men that we're dealing with here, right?
Yep.
And they're still learning who they are, and they're still figuring out their approach to not only baseball but life, et cetera, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you begin to start to convey some of what you've just learned here and what you're talking about? How do you start to convey that to these young men?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's just talk to them. But when you talk to them, I guess the better thing I should say is we basically talk to them to listen. We're obviously as a coach, like you're always talking to your players. It could be casually on the side during warm-ups. It could be during a throwing session. It could be after a good outing, after a bad outing. It could be on the bus. It could be at the hotel. It could be at the team meal. There's always conversations, right? But it's I think, I think when guys, you go through stretches where like we talked about at the beginning, that where, every team has them, every great team has them. When you speak to the players, you speak in a manner at which you set yourself up to listen. It's not about, I don't believe that, the ship doesn't get steered necessarily the right way because of any magical thing that I say or a coach says, but I think as coaches, really,
No HR poster like quote that you say it aloud and everybody goes, ah.
yeah, like it doesn't. It'd be great if it worked that way. I would, we'd overnight it on Amazon and it would be here and we'd put it on the wall and that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
No, I think honestly, I think you. Nick Saban has a great quote in his book, and his book's awesome. If you haven't read it, it's just he talks about get out of yourself and get into the team. Get out of yourself and get into the team, and that right there can say a lot because it can say, that applies to me as the head coach. It talks, all of our coaches talks about our support staff, talks about our players, our starters, our relievers, everybody. Just get out of yourself and get into the team. And when you do that, the only way to do that is to listen. You can't if you don't in that mindset of getting out of yourself and into the team, you're consumed by yourself and you're speaking to hear yourself speak and you're not in a place of really ready to listen. And I think listening is very important.
What kind of person speaks to hear themselves talk, Brad?
You looking for a specific name of these type of people?
No, that's what we do here. So I don't know. I was just.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't follow that.
I was pointing a thumb.
Nice.
See, I was pointing a thumb. All right, so let's talk. Let's get more specific.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is it okay to say, and you'll tell me if it's not? Is it okay to say that we're in a little funk here? We hit a little rough patch, right?
Yeah, like we talked about, like
Right.
happens every season.
It happens. So when it happens, do you need to just you guys as far as your preparation and things you're doing? I'll draw a parallel to when I'm in the stands because, like we always say here, we're not superstitious, but we're a little stitious.
Right.
If things aren't going, if things aren't feeling right in the stands, I move locations.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I was like, all right, I gotta go stand somewhere else. I gotta go try to change this up. I'm trying to, let's just change something and see if that works.
Mm-hmm.
And it never does, but we always still go back to it. Do you guys do that as a coaching staff? Is this when you hit those inevitable rough patches, is it okay? We got to sort of trust the process and keep doing what we know works, or do you evaluate something, or do you see something and say, maybe we need to shake things up a little bit to kind of get some mojo flowing or something?
Well, I think if you win 20 games straight and you lose a game, I think evaluating is on the table. So I don't think it takes losing 2 games or 3 games or whatever. Like I think when you lose a game, period, even winning, but I think when you lose a game, anytime you lose a game, everything's on the table for being evaluated. It doesn't mean necessarily that a change needs to be made, but nothing's. I think I've always really admired, Coach Belichick with the New England Patriots, and just the stories and all the videos and everything you read about him and you watch about him, you hear about him. Everybody always talks about there isn't a better coach in the NFL that when the team goes into the locker room, they come out better than in the second half than the first half, and it's adjustments. It's moving the pieces that need to be moved and not moving the pieces that don't need to be moved. And so we're not going to move pieces just for the sake of moving them.
Right.
But every piece is allowed to be evaluated to be moved. And because if you I believe if you view things that way, the first move you look at, yeah, that's not right. Second move, yeah, we don't need to do that. Third move, you're like, that doesn't do anything. The fourth move, like, that's interesting. Like, that could work.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we do make that move, so you leave the first 3 or 4 moves alone. You don't change anything. You stay with the process, as you say. But the fourth or fifth or whatever move later, after, looking at everything, and you're just like, all right, like, yeah, like this could work. This could get us back on track. This could be the thing. This could be the missing link, the thing that we need. And here we go. And that one move can change the direction of everything. So, yeah, I think it's really important as a coach that you stay in that mindset. Frankly, even when you're winning, which we've talked about, right? Like, I remember being down in South Florida, and I remember when we beat UConn on Saturday. I remember talking about our whole coaching staff. We talked to the team about things that, let's improve these things, and how it's everybody. It's so much better when you can teach these lessons through winning. And then we came back out the next day and we had a really great game against South Florida, and so on and so forth. So, like, it's just those moves are always on the table. It really doesn't require. It's not like, okay, it's 2 games or 3 games or whatever. It's like, now we need to make adjustments. It's like, no, it's a daily thing, in my opinion. You're always looking to improve, and so
I think it's easy for those of us on the outside of the dugout looking into the dugout to forget that the team and the season are always an evolving. It's never okay, we're done. I mean, when the season's over, you're done. But as long as there's games to be played, you're
right.
always adjusting something. You're always improving. You never play the same game twice. I think you mentioned video games, and I have a feeling that your brother's still probably pretty good at video games.
He's really good.
I have a sneaking suspicion. But when you play sports video games and you construct a team, whether it's you're drafting players or signing free agents like on Madden or something like that, or we hadn't played a college game in a while, but you're playing MLB The Show and you're constructing your roster.
Yep.
Once you construct your roster, that's your roster, and those guys kind of perform a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not reality. That's simulation,
Yep.
right? And that's not what we're doing here. So
right.
it's easy to overlook that. Even when you see, I don't know, you want to go out on a limb here. I don't think it's very far on a limb, but hottest team in the country, probably Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee's still evolving and adapting and changing as they go forward, and they're not just on autopilot.
Who was it, like, I don't know what year it was. Memphis basketball, they go undefeated the whole season. They go 32-0 and then lose in the finals.
I think you might be talking about Kentucky. Didn't Kentucky
was
do
it Kentucky that went
Yeah.
undefeated the whole season?
Yeah, Calipari.
You know, shoot, like, yeah, like, I think, to that point, it's like, we get to play tomorrow.
Right.
And what we talked about earlier, how by nature, I'm going to always like my position, and by default our position, because I'm part of a team. So, yeah, like, as we get to play tomorrow, here we go.
Speaking of which, just looking out the window here, we are at the Hayes, and here comes Southern Miss.
Yep.
They're arriving.
Yep.
So I'm not sure if that comes through at home or not, but if you see movement in the background, hey, check that out, Coach. They have a football too.
Yep.
Guess they're going to toss a football around the way our guys do, maybe a little bit. But yeah, here they are. This weekend just got real. So we'll talk about them in a minute here. Actually, you know what? Let's start moving forward to this weekend now.
Yep.
enough, right? It is what it is. We got we have a big week of baseball because, and Woody, you were right to point this out. Hadn't even gotten this far yet. We were sort of kicking the can around earlier. But we host this team this weekend, and then we turn right back around next Tuesday night and host the same Winthrop team again.
Yep.
Right back here. We're definitely going to talk Southern Miss. I don't want to get too far in the future here, but for the guys, that's got to be that's got to be an important message that you get. Not only with a great team, a nationally ranked team here this weekend, but even the team that you just played last night, you get to play them again next Tuesday.
Yep.
So that's got to be a motivating factor, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I mean, we haven't really talked about that much with the guys, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
It's today we just went after it and had a really good practice, and now we're ready for tomorrow. Hadn't even really talked much about Saturday or Sunday, so
Sure.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, internally, yeah, I think we get back to where we were 9 days ago, and playing our brand and our game, wire to wire. Good things happen, and then we get another opportunity to run it back again. I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't? I mean, again, just I know who doesn't like to lose in a backyard basketball game as a kid and get an opportunity to run it back again and try to, you always want that opportunity. So
Right.
yeah, that'll be good.
So let's turn forward here and talk about. I just got a question. I'm not actually going to ask it. It's a pretty funny question. This is the kind of thing that if Kevin was here, he'd be talking right now, and I'd be laughing at the question that I just got.
I got you.
Yeah. This is the first time we've ever done this show. This is the first time we've ever done this without Kevin. I mean, like in 5 years, this is the first time we've ever done this without Kevin. And
You're missed, Kevin. You're missed.
well, duh.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one that always gets us back on track
Yep.
when I find a way to derail us. So coming into the weekend, let's just get this out there because there's some pretty cool promotions coming up, which I always throw this in there, 704-687-4949 or charlotte49ers.com to get your tickets. It sounds like that the sales for this one have been pretty good, and that there are only a handful of lower level reserve seats left. So if you're out there and you're thinking maybe I should go to a game, I think you should. Weather's looking pretty decent. Maybe a little chance of some showers here in the morning, but pretty much it looks like for starting tomorrow evening and all weekend, it's going to be around 60, 62 degrees or so, and sunny on Saturday and Sunday. So
Yep.
get on out here. Let's see. I've got our giveaways here tomorrow night, which I had to do a double take on this one first. Tomorrow night is Pints and Pies night, Woody. Pints and Pies. I was like, well, what? Giveaway pint glasses to the first 50 fans.
Nice.
So if you want a pint glass, get on out here early, maybe catch BP or something and get a pint glass, and pizza for the first 100 fans. So it's Pints and Pies night. Now, Saturday is pretty cool. Saturday's Norm's birthday. Did you know that?
I'd read it. Yeah.
Well, it's 4-9 day.
Yeah.
April 9th.
That's right.
4-9. The aforementioned tailgate will be in progress. It's actually the tailgate lot should open at 9 a.m. for 1 o'clock softball, which they're hosting Southern Miss as well. Big weekend with them.
Yep.
Which let's just stop right now before I forget. Shout out to the ladies, Coach Chastain and all the staff and the ladies that got it done last night. I mean, they did beat your alma mater.
Beat the Heels, yeah.
I know.
It was awesome.
Well, I mean, I'm for that. So congrats to them on getting a big win here at the Sioux, beating the Heels.
The crowd looked awesome. The
Oh
crowd
yeah.
looked awesome.
Their crowds have been good all along, really. I mean, here too. And I think some of the I think they had some of the student section out last night.
Looked awesome.
There's some really cool stuff going on with that student section right now. I know you guys have heard it and felt it coming from the student section, but there's kind of a core group of folks that have kind of jumped on that, and And
Yep, they love to win. They hate losing, and those are the type of people that we love to associate ourselves with.
And yes, and they have a good time too.
Yep.
So yeah. So Saturday, it's Norm's birthday, Junior 49er Day. So if you have a little one that's a member of the Junior 49ers, come out here for Norm's birthday party.
That's awesome.
Norm backpacks for the first 350 fans. Brad, do you feel like you need a Norm backpack?
Depends on how cool it looks.
It's got Norm on it, dude. I mean,
We haven't gotten a preview, so I got nothing on that.
I mean, if it's one of the little knapsack type
Yeah.
of things, I've got like 4 or 5 of those.
but do you have a Norm one?
Well, they're old Charlotte logo ones. So
Okay,
maybe I
see?
need a new Charlotte
There
logo
you
one.
go.
Okay.
I mean, Norm backpack. That has to be awesome. There's no way it's not. So get out here of course, you need to get out here on Saturday anyway. The weather's going to be nice. Like we said, we're going to be tailgating right out here in the Gold Lot. We will not be hard to find. Come on out here, stop by, say hello, and hang out, talk a little Niner baseball before the game on Saturday, which is at 3 o'clock. Then Sunday, it's a whiteout, apparently. So I'm assuming you guys will probably wear the all whites.
White CLT.
The white CLT with the white caps, which is that's sort of your standard Sunday uniform. 1 p.m. here at the Hayes, and it is a whiteout. And if you don't have anything white, just get here early because they're going to give out white T-shirts for the first 125 fans. So all that going on, and every day we just mentioned as well, there's softball going on against Southern Miss over at the Sioux right across the way. So no shortage of stuff to do here on a really cool spring weekend here at UNC Charlotte.
Yep.
So now that we've got the logistical stuff down, let's talk. You guys have been doing the scout on Southern Miss. Tell us what we can expect from. I mean, I think their reputation sort of precedes them. They're a really good club, but tell us what you guys have seen.
Yeah, I mean they're coming off of a really good series win against Louisiana Tech, who's also a heck of a club, and a win against Ole Miss on a midweek.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think in Oxford, yeah. So, I think for those who don't know Coach Barry, the Southern Miss's head coach, he's been there a long time, and he was there in 2009 when they went to the College World Series. He's been doing it a long time, and I have tremendous respect for him and his coaching staff and how consistent and high level they've been year in and year out at Southern Miss. So, the thing that stands out though, aside from just how well coached they're going to be, is I think you got to start with their pitching staff and top to bottom, every guy that there is going to come in there this weekend is going to be really good, and is going to be a great challenge for us. And they've got a variety of looks offensively, with some speed and power that's going to challenge us as well. So, yeah, I mean they're where they are in the standings and national rankings for a reason, and it's a great opportunity for our club to play our game and seize the opportunity in front of us.
Just taking a look at that, 3 starters, all under 2.6 ERAs. So I mean that's serious.
Yep.
They always have, programs sort of have these identities, and some teams are or some programs are more offensive, some are more pitching oriented. But it feels like, and not that Southern Miss doesn't always have hitters because they've had some great ones, but they always have arms.
Mm-hmm.
It feels that way every year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's kind of the trademark of their club, is that they are going to fill up the strike zone with good stuff and tough competitors, and but at the same time, when every game that starts, no matter the order or the names that go into our lineup, I love writing our lineup out. So, it's going to be a really good matchup in terms of just, kind of our strengths versus their strengths. 2 really good teams, and should have good weather here as far as, coming out and having a good fan base. And so here we go.
Yeah, so with the Niners going forward this weekend, we can. It feels like, and I know we don't get into specifics with the injuries and those types of things on the specific basis, but it feels like overall, Coach, feels like we're starting to get a few pieces back and starting to put some things back into place. Would you? I mean,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's.
I'm not just imagining things.
No, yeah. I mean, every team. I don't think you'll see many teams in the country in college baseball that are at 100% max capacity. Just from a general health standpoint and stuff like that. But yeah, we're definitely going the right direction on that front. And we're going to do everything in our power to continue to do that. I'll tell you, our trainer Donna Nemo is tremendous. I mean, people. If people could see like how much time, effort, and care that she puts into taking care of our guys, it's pretty amazing. So she does a tremendous job with our guys and putting us in a position to get them feeling as good as possible and back out there competing and doing what they love to do as soon as possible. So yeah, I mean we're going a good direction on that front, and any experience that our guys have had from playing a new position or hitting in a new spot in the order or anything along those lines, that's only going to bode well for us as we do move closer to being, full capacity.
And not only on the injury front, but just some guys have been starting to put some things together. To start off the season, and the first thing that comes to mind to start off the season, Butch was he wasn't what he would expect from himself, right?
Yeah,
Butch was underperforming according to his own expectations. Butch has really gotten hot lately. I mean, he's starting to come on.
Oh yeah, I mean, Will's one of the best hitters in our program, and we all know it. And we never didn't know it,
right?
And so again, yeah, like it's one of those things. I mean, I was really fortunate to get to coach Aaron Sabato. A few years back. Aaron Sabato was one of the best college hitters I've seen in the last decade. And, Butch and I were talking probably, second, third week of the season, and we talked about Sabato just because I mentioned him because they remind me they remind me a lot of each other, just how their approach, their love for the game, their strength, their ability, their kind of I don't know. They kind of both have like this like ferociousness about them when they're in the batter's box that I've always really liked, and they just remind both right-handed. So I was talking to Butch about Aaron just one day, and he's like, yeah, Coach, like that's funny you mention him. He's one of my favorite hitters, one of my favorite college hitters. I loved watching him. So we just started talking. I was like, hey, you think Sabato ever had like a tough streak or whatever you want to call it?
Right.
And he's just like, probably not. I went back and looked. Like, I want to say he went through a stretch, and I remember it. I mean, we went up to Blacksburg and played at Virginia Tech, and he was Aaron Sabato, first rounder, one of the best hitters I've coached and seen in 10, 12 years. Was 0 for 14 on the weekend with like 8 punch outs. I mean, it was as bad of a weekend as I've seen from a hitter.
He got the sombrero and more.
Like every day we were there. At least it felt like it, And so, we just kind of talked about that, and I mean, our whole coaching staff. I mean, we're never gonna not think that Will Butcher's not one of our best hitters on the team. So.
Yeah. He just comes to mind as somebody that's kind of starting to put it together.
Yeah,
because he's definitely coming on. The grand slam he hit last night, it
was awesome.
Winthrop, dead center.
Awesome.
I mean, I didn't think Dad's that they have TrackMan data.
Not at Winthrop, no.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a 2-0 slider that he just put a really awesome swing on, and our whole dugout, frankly, kind of. I'd be curious to know how many of our players pulled the he's gonna hit a home run card. I'm pretty sure most of the guys in our dugout pulled the card right there, and it was awesome.
I'll say this, and I'll just add this. Again, talking to it from the fan perspective, these guys last night in our dugout, if you weren't there or didn't get a chance to watch on TV, you may not translate on TV, but as fans, you read stuff online, you listen to and the people are like, oh, we lost the series. Our dugout's not doing any of that stuff. Those dudes are fired up down there.
Nope.
I mean, they were fired up all night last night.
Nope. They were awesome.
Yeah, and they were definitely fired up. We need to figure out. We're working to see if I think Blake Jackson has maybe he has an NIL deal with Celsius. I think maybe those, and I think he had definitely consumed some Celsius last night because he was fired up.
Yeah, Blake. I'll tell you, man. Blake Jackson's a game changer for us because when you have players, again, it gets back to what we talked about. Get out of yourself and get into the team. Like when you have players that, when they're healthy and things are going good, and they make everybody around you better. Like, of course, that's a great thing, right? And then you take a hit by pitch off the hand and you've got to be in a cast for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
To have his outlook and his perspective and his energy and enthusiasm to continue to make everybody around him better like he does, it's game changing. It's game changing. Blake Jackson 100% impacted the outcome of us winning the series at Old Dominion, and our entire coaching staff and team knows that. So, and that's just one of many examples, and it gets back to what I talked about earlier. When you have a foundation of 37 players like that, it's only a matter of time.
We try to give you, if you're willing to sit through this deep in the show, we always try to give you something and reward you for staying. So if you're looking for something new to follow, keep an eye on number 8 in the dugout.
It's pure entertainment.
Because
Yeah.
we're letting you behind the ropes here. Keep an eye on number 8 in the dugout.
Yeah.
He's having a good time down there and keeping the energy flowing. So check it out. The other thing I wanted to bring up, and this is something that honestly I didn't realize when we've my daughter and I we've had the chance to go on the road and follow you guys several times already this year, and you always get to see different things when you're away, because it's just here we're in our familiar places and we just kind of go the same usual places and whatnot. But you brought
where you go and you do what you do.
You go where you go and you do what you do. I think that was a Woody Durham line, yeah. So you get into your familiar places, but when you go on the road, you don't have those routines, so you see different stuff. You brought up Donna. I think most people would think of trainers as just like, that's the person that comes out on the field and looks at an ankle. Yeah, you twisted that, kind of thing. That's it. But those athletic trainers, what I've come to, and I didn't know this, but I've gotten educated. They're managing like a ton of stuff.
Oh, it's incredible.
I mean, it's not just hey, so and so's, I need to tape so and so's ankle. That's the tip of the iceberg. It is unbelievable the amount of stuff that Donna and any other athletic trainer are managing on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, she's our guys have class in the mornings too, and around class she's doing treatments from 8 or 9 a.m. all throughout into lunch, then grabbing a quick bite for herself, and then if we have practice at 1:30, just generally speaking, like she's treating guys all the way up until then, and then we're on the field. Obviously, if anything occurs on the field, she's there to support us, and then after practice finishes, she's here with the guys in the evenings, and it is. If anything, if our guys need anything whatsoever after hours, she and I are speed dial one. And, everything from small to big, filling prescriptions to driving to the doctor, waiting in the waiting room, you name it. she's there for our guys, and we're just so lucky to have her.
She's talking to them about like calorie intake and what they're eating and how many energy drinks they're drinking and you know, the whole thing. I mean, it's really a one-stop shop, and I think people often, a lot of that work, obviously, because it's happening behind the scenes, will go unnoticed.
Yep.
So
well, she's a coach. I mean, that's when she came on board with our program. I mean, she and I sat down and we kind of just talked about, I got to know kind of, just her general views on things and listen to those. And she got to, talk to me and our coaching staff about just kind of our general views and things and those kind of things. And we kind of wrapped up with that. I mean, I was like, I told her, I said, you're Coach Nemo, like, because I believe when you're in an athletic training role, like it's so much more than just like kind of what you said, like taping ankles and, helping guys off the field and that kind of thing. Like she's helping mentor and develop and support our guys. And so that makes her a coach.
How did I get this far and not know that Donna's last name was Nemo?
Good question.
We got to do something with that.
I don't know why you're looking at me.
I mean, I just say because you're an ideas guy. I'm like, we got to do something with that. I mean, that's just begging. That's awesome. That's an awesome last name.
Yeah, and she played the game too. I mean, she played softball and she played multiple positions, and she understands kind of the demands of the bat and ball sport and the mentality and the mindset, and that's huge.
So we try to give you things to watch out for. There's two right there because 3 days of baseball against a nationally ranked opponent here at the Hayes in gorgeous weather. Because that's not enough to pay attention to. Check out what Blake's doing down there at the dugout, and keep an eye on Donna too, because she's doing way more. Certainly doing way more than most people assume that an athletic trainer is. It's a really complicated position, and they're both good at what they do. So keep an eye on that.
Yep.
All right, I guess it's time to get ready to go play Southern Miss. Coach Woody, we always give you the bully pulpit here before we sign off. How do you want to wrap this up as we head into Southern Miss weekend?
Yeah, I'll wrap up by saying that we're excited. We're excited to compete at home this weekend in front of a great fan base with really great weather, and we're excited to play our brand of ball. So like I said, I've been saying it the whole game. I've been saying it the whole day that our 37 players have laid it on the line, and I'm excited to see those guys compete and get after it this weekend with a great opportunity against a really good club.
So for your information, Kevin is off the practice field.
Oh, nice.
And he's now trolling me via text.
Yeah.
So he's listening, and there may be some Step Brothers quotes,
I'm sure,
coming in on my text right now. And Brad's already laughing because
Did we just become best friends?
Well, he just told me I sounded like a combination of Fergie and Jesus. If you know, you know. It's a great Step Brothers quote. All right, so before we disappoint Kevin in his absence any further, I guess we're gonna get off the air here. We've been and think about it, folks. We've been going. We've been. Kevin is apparently the difference between an hour show and an hour and 20-minute show. Mm-hmm. So we're letting you off early tonight.
Looking forward to having you back.
Yeah, we'll get you back in here, Kevin. Wasn't the same without you. All right, folks, we are all out of time for this week. Look for this podcast wherever you find your podcast. Make sure to subscribe in order to be notified of new content. You also find Diamond Niner Report on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, but never TikTok. Reach out anytime you'd like. We love hearing from you all. If you're old-fashioned like us, just say hello at the ballpark, and you've got 3 excellent opportunities to do that in the next 3 days. For the missing Kevin, producer Brad, and Coach Woody, this has been Nick. We'll see all you folks real soon at the Hayes.
Go Niners.